Why is Levi Ackerman so overpowered? And why is Mikasa best waifu? So what's up guys, Foxen here. Hope you're doing as well as Sasha after a Titan buffet. Attack on Titan time. Let's get into an extreme deep dive into the Ackerman clan. What really is the truth behind the Ackerman? Do abs just come with a package? What did Isayama accidentally reveal years back? Why Levi God mode? That's right, you're getting a delicious mouthful of every Ackerman. This includes fun mysteries and even contradictions for this legendary clan. So if you love Levi and the Ackerman, be sure to go God mode on that like and subscribe. But first, today's awesome sponsor is FootMouse. Take a look.
Introducing a revolution in gaming. FootMouse, the first science-based gaming mouse made for feet.
I've been using FootMouse for over 6 months. My APM is over 520, my KDA has doubled, and my win rate's up.
Got ya. Actually, the true sponsor is Raid Shadow Legends. Oh yeah. What I find pretty awesome about Raid are so many champions here. You got thick witches, golden armor knights, celestial elves, alien-like demons, tatted up orcs, even Yogi and his soda bro. Raid has also recently doubled their daily login reward system. Plus, at the end of each 30 days, you get a free epic champion. This even includes a free legendary class Barbarian. Damn, look at those abs. Can't wait to play with her. The great news is that Raid is free to play. It is available for mobile, plus they got a PC client too now. It is free, so why not go ahead and try it out. Plus, you do have the extra bonuses of this being an easy way to support the channel during these tough times. You can find the link down below. But wait, here's a bonus. Use my link down below, and you'll get an Orc Tree Feller Champion, plus 200,000 silver when you join within 30 days. In-game, just click the treasure box item to collect your free goodies. Anyway, getting into the truth about the Ackerman. Keep in mind this will include some manga stuff, but I will try to keep it to Ackerman only info. Attack on Titan has been delayed anyway. What better time to catch up to the manga? So why were the Ackerman even created? Turns out the Ackerman clan was originally created to protect the Elden King. The Elden King would have been the founding Titan. As to why they needed more super soldiers on top of Titans, that's coming up. The actual first individual Ackerman came as a result of the previous Eldian Empire. They were experimenting using subjects of Ymir. After their long history, eventually one super soldier was achieved. These Ackerman people can manifest the Titan powers, while at the same time maintaining a human form. Mikasa, Levi, talk about playing life on easy mode. Since the Ackerman were initially created to guard some royalty, their Ackerman blood instincts will activate once they recognize someone as their host or master. Once an Ackerman obeys an order from them and conditions are met, their Titan blood will fully awaken. This really leads into why Ackerman are so freaking overpowered. Once an Ackerman awakens, their physical abilities are pushed to this super extreme. It's like an Isekai character starting off with max stats. But wait, there's more. The woke Ackerman actually gains the battle experience accumulated by every past Ackerman. This is done via their own exclusive path, the Ackerman 5G. But seriously, what the hell? I don't even think overpowered even begins to define this. Forget about overpowered isekai characters, more like that overpowered character writing their own story, literally a god. But here's an interesting kicker. Post-Titan buff, the Ackerman can find themselves feeling some odd headaches. This is due to the person trying to resist being forced to protect their host or master. And Mikasa sound familiar? Ultimately, the Ackerman were created to fulfill this one role against their will, which some people have used this to describe them as being slave to the royal family or their instincts. And just to start this is this huge juicy Ackerman chunk to digest. I am going to examine each piece of this in detail, but first, let me toss a little bit of spice into this. A Levi-sized disclaimer. This past Ackerman information is from a shady, questionable source within the Attack on Titan story, which honestly seems to go hand in hand with this story. Getting into the first claim, the raw power of the Ackerman. How powerful are they? They all seem to be like Titan Captain Americas running around. Their access to previous past Ackerman experience. It really feels like Titan Shifter memories being passed down, except on fracking steroids. You could just imagine Mikasa going Ultra Instinct mode if Levi ever goes boom. But keep in mind this is access to all the previous Ackerman library. You better hope your ancestors weren't some lazy bums. That said, one mystery for this is really how the Ackerman powers are distributed when you have more than one active Ackerman on the board. At one time you have Mikasa, Levi, and Kenny. Something tells me fair distribution isn't at all a thing. Either way, finally you got this story reason that explains why the Ackerman are on a completely different level altogether. Let's first take a look at Mikasa's history. Beating up bully trash as a loli. No issue carrying her boy toy. Gotta protect that piece of ass. Don't even get me started on the crates. I think I need some of those acroids. Mikasa chucking Reiner's thick ass, no problem. One of the more amazing feats early on was in the Trust arc. You had Mikasa crashing into that rooftop at high speed. She then fell like 5+ stories down. Rough estimate from the anime buildings. Sticking with Trust, we had Mikasa as this rookie scout being able to easily take out Titans, no biggie. Something that even gave the Survey Corps trouble at the time. You could really see why she was described as being as valuable as 100 soldiers. In the manga, you had Mikasa switching over to Railroad Worker. Mikasa's lifting not one steel bar, but like 10 or more. No one's even batting an eye anymore. Meanwhile, Coney over here is struggling with this wood. Hey Eren, listen to this girl, otherwise you're a dead man. Although this still isn't even diving into her Titan shifter carving up history. You could bet Annie still has nightmares about that. Getting into humanity's most charming, Kid Levi was already dominating adults in the underground. You even have this fun example of Levi showing off his arm strength. Levi versus Dust, no problem. Levi versus Basement Door, KO. And of course, don't forget Levi versus Titans. The female Titan, super shredded by the Levi Beyblade. Levi versus the Beast Titan, more like Levi the sushi chef. Perhaps the walls really were made to protect the Titans from Levi. And I know what you're wondering, how about Levi God Mode? You have seen instances of Levi being shown with those white eyes in the anime. One of those best executions was Levi going all out versus that red-eyed Titan. Technically, this is not an actual mode or power-up. It really is more like this fun visual added for the animation, and then Attack on Titan fans just called it Levi God Mode. Despite Levi God Mode not being an official thing, you have had Levi being described as having the strength rivaling the 9 special titans. Come on, you know Levi felt a little bit insulted at that. Third Ackerman, Kenny. Kenny may not have had titans for lunch, but don't let that fool you. Definitely a standout show of his Ackerman power was Kenny taking on the top 1. He even managed to scratch that gorgeous face. Sure, it wasn't at all a long fight, but Kenny freaking had the balls to go one-on-one with only his little dagger. Imagine if both of the Ackermen were using the same blades. Not to mention this was not Kenny at his prime. Another show of Kenny's strength actually happened a little bit later. You saw Kenny fully lift the plump rod off the ground. That was him one-arming the guy. Kenny lifts too. Keep in mind Kenny's age is unknown, surely 50+. You still had the guy bleeding out from the Levi stab. And throughout this he was giving a friendly tug to Rod. Going by the anime length, that was a good 50 or so seconds. Getting into the source of the Ackerman awakening. This concept about a host or a master. This is actually known as the Ackerman Bond or Ackerman Bond for short. For Kenny, he had Uri Reyes. For Levi, that was Commander Erwin. And shocker, Mikasa has been super attached to Eren. Mikasa actually served as the best example for a lot of this Ackerman stuff, partly since Mikasa has gotten the most screen time from the Ackerman trio. You've actually witnessed a front row awakening for young Mikasa. Young Mikasa should have registered Kid Eren as her master figure, then activated her little self following his yelling to fight, fight. Let me just point out there are a lot of unclear things, but this Ackerman Bond concept is absolutely true. 4 years back in the Attack on Titan Answers book, Isayama first mentioned the existence of this Ackerman having a host concept. At the time, Isayama even confirmed the 3 Ackerman Bond pairings. Time to examine the Ackerman Bond mystery. The Ackerman were meant to be these Titan King bodyguards. But apart from Kenny, clearly Mikasa and Levi have no kings. There's not even royal blood in the equation. At the very least, this highly suggests only an Eldian is needed for this bond to form. In the case of Levi, this guy has clearly not been downgraded with the loss of Erwin, which means it's safe to say that post-Ackerman marriage, the partner is not required. Sorry, Commander. What isn't clear is whether or not an Ackerman is restricted to only a single person. Could the Ackerman connection change or expand later on to include others? You have 2 very good cases with Kenny and Levi without the original connection. This could even suggest that the Ackerman bond continues to exist past death. Kenny clearly didn't bond with Mr. Rod. After the founding Titan powers were passed over, Kenny actually tried to gain the same powers to see what his master did. You even saw Kenny speaking out to Uri in his final moments. The situation for Levi is even more interesting. When did Levi even gain his Titan abilities? He only confirmed to Mikasa having that similar surge of power experience. Levi as a little kid was already dominating the underground. Then, after first joining up the scouts for a mission, you saw Levi go into his signature god mode on that hungry Titan. The popular thought has been that Levi initially bonded to Isabel or Furlan. Otherwise, Levi would have been already pretty damn strong before bonding with Erwin. Which brings 2 likely scenarios for Levi. 1. Levi was just badass from the get-go. Or 2. Levi Ackerman bonded with one or both of his underground buddies. Later, Erwin's dream spoke to Levi in such a way that this transferred over. Erwin might have not been a king, but he definitely was a leader figure. But don't forget about Mikasa. And you might be saying, Jerry, Mikasa's situation is crystal clear. And yes, I would agree. Obviously, Mikasa has a very special relationship with Eren, one that extends past her Ackerman instincts. But even with Mikasa, it's not hard to see how her Ackerman circle could have expanded to include her buddies. Switching to a different part, the actual creation of the Ackerman via Titan science. Previously, Boomer Ackerman strongly hinted at their creation by the royal family. More recent manga information doubles down on this. You know how the Founding Titan could alter memories, but that's only the start. The Founding Titan has the power to change the body structure of subjects of Ymir. The Ackerman are this byproduct of Titan science, ones that serve the royal family as their bodyguards. All of this together pretty much confirms the Ackerman were created by the Founding Titan. You'll see why this is important coming up. Getting into the more controversial claim regarding the Ackerman being forced to protect their host. No question, Mikasa has constantly been super protective towards Eren, but was all of that just a programmed behavior? Let's look back at trust. After Eren was supposedly dead in her mind, Mikasa by all means had given up. It was a good life. But then notice, you had Mikasa suddenly fighting back. Even she didn't fully realize why this was happening. She only figured out why after hearing Eren's voice in her coconut, fight, fight. In the anime, you actually even had this extra shot of blood cells pulsating. That smells very much like Ackerman blood. The next scene happened actually more recently in Attack on Titan Season 3. Poor blonde boy Armin got turned into Korean barbecue. As soon as Levi bitch slapped Eren, Mikasa activated, complete with that crazy look in her eye. It was even to the point of overpowering Levi for a good time. I will point out that Levi was perhaps tired, but hadn't taken any damage just yet. Then, moments later, Mikasa assaulting Hanji. You can't even see her eyes here. I do think at least some of this was due to her Ackerman blood switching her to autopilot. Perhaps the clearest example was when a scout tried to sucker punch Eren. Mikasa instantly slammed him down. Even she was dumbfounded. She clearly had no idea why her body moved. So, does this confirm the claim that Ackerman are forced to protect their host? In other words, Ackerman are doing something against their own will. Looking back at Mikasa, it at least suggests it does. On the other hand, you do have Levi. A strong counterexample would be Levi telling Erwin to give up his dream and die. You even have Levi doubling down on this by allowing Erwin to rest from this cruel world. Too bad there's not enough from Kenny to examine. And perfect, this actually naturally moves us into the Ackerman Headaches. Supposedly these are caused by the Ackerman recalling trying to resist protecting their host. How true is this? In Attack on Titan Season 1, you saw young Mikasa get one post Carla becoming a snack. Attack on Titan Season 2, Mikasa had another one after waking up and realizing Eren had been captured for the 10th time. Attack on Titan Season 3, this one happening after seeing roasted Armin. Later in the manga, what feels like her worst headache. This involved thinking back to when Eren rescued her. So right away it seems like this headache claim doesn't really hold true. For the Carla and Armin cases, this would actually have to imply Mikasa having Ackerman bonded to them, and then having the headaches due to being unable to protect them. By the way, in case you're wondering about Levi, I had a really fun time double checking every single panel in the manga. Levi only held his head once, not counting the time that Annie screamed her butt off. The time involves some self-reflection from him, thinking back to Eren, Erwin, and his fallen comrades. So yes, let me just call bullcrap on this Ackerman headache explanation. At best, the common theme here for Mikasa is either recalling the loss of someone or not being able to protect someone, which leads back to the day she lost her parents, also the day she awakened. Let me now turn to Isayama. In 2016, Isayama was asked whether this protective trait was due to the Ackerman blood. Surprisingly, he said it was not. Instead, he mentioned that it was due to the nature of those three individuals, them willingly wanting to protect their important person. He described these three Ackermen as more like finding this boss or manager that they'd happily work under. In other words, even Isayama completely goes against the Ackermen doing this whole protective service against their will, which also clears up the Ackerman headache being linked to guarding their host. Anyway, bringing it all together, the Ackerman explanation plus a little bit of theory. The Ackerman were created by the Founding Titan using its ability to change body structures. This resulted in super soldiers with the strength of Titans but still in human compact size. What's most telling is how the Ackerman have been referred to being this byproduct or consequence of Titan science. In other words, Ackerman soldiers are not 100% what the Founding Titan was hoping to create. To the royal family, this ideal soldier would have been one with Titan powers that could easily be controlled by its creators. Instead, you got an Ackerman. You can't forcefully attach someone to them for their Ackerman bond. You can't force the Ackerman to awaken their abilities. The person they Ackerman bond to doesn't even need to be of royal blood. And while the Ackerman sometimes autopilot into guarding their host, this doesn't always work and could be clearly resisted. The Founding Titan is also unable to mind wipe them as needed. As a bonus kicker, these guys have no healing factor. As for the actual Ackerman Bond, this master-host relationship. Supposedly the Ackerman needs to recognize the host, then they have to obey their command in this death scenario. Only Mikasa has been shown to awaken under those extreme conditions. Levi is unclear, and then Kenny may actually surprise you. You might have missed it, but Kenny described this moment where this almighty titan figure was apologizing to him as something deeply moving. Kenny felt a jolt of something deep down inside. Sound familiar? This feels like strong evidence for the Ackerman connection forming, this time differently. Clearly the Ackerman aren't just some slaves, they got their own mind and will. Some form of the Ackerman instinct to protect does exist, but that could be overcome or resisted. So despite Eldian kings experimenting over decades or centuries, instead of achieving this perfect loyal titan soldier, you got this defective product, an Ackerman. The founding titan is humanity's gain, which is why I'm really hyped to see how Mikasa and Levi help humanity in the endgame. So hey you awesome guys, hope you enjoyed that, and thank you to Raid for helping me this month to pay my rent. Really, ad revenue right now is worse than January. And do let me know if you like this video format. Like the video if you do. I do have a few other Attack on Titan video ideas that I did get while putting this video together. If this does well, I'll move forward with some of those. Oh, and if you do have your own topic you want me to cover one day, post it below. You never know. I mean, originally I wanted to do this deep dive into the Ackerman clan for like what, half a year, maybe a year now? So I eventually do get to some of these things. Anyway, fun question of the day. Who is your favorite Ackerman? Kenny, Levi, Mikasa? Don't forget to subscribe since I know a good chunk of you are not yet. Watch my comedy anime video for funny anime and I'll see you guys later.